What's up, gang, and welcome back to another edition of Road Trippin' with the Rudes.
Hi, guys. And if this is your first time tuning into a Rude's Real Review, thank you so much. Please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video. If you've been riding with us all along, thank you so much. Please be sure to comment down below, and sharing is caring. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We're here.
That's right. And today, we'll be doing a real review of episode 4, The World is Watching, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Wakanda's watching. What kind of series did you think this was going to be without Wakanda? Sorry, guys, just had to get that out. So, if this is your first time watching, we do not discuss during the episode anything. We wait to share it with you. And let me tell you, I was jumping out of my seat and could not, seriously, I couldn't even look at Corey. When the first of all, can we just talk about the fact that this series, the first scene on each and every episode has just been captures you immediately. Even the one with CWP, which is John Walker, aka Captain White Privilege, that gave you that emotion of that disdain. It's almost like immediate. It draws you in.
Yeah.
But this was my favorite intro by far. It takes us back 6 years ago to Wakanda, to a heartwarming scene with Ayo and Bucky, aka White Wolf. And Ayo says, and Bucky is, you can tell that there's definitely a close bond there. There's that trust there. Ayo looks at Bucky and says, "You're going to be okay." He doesn't want to hurt anyone. She gives off the commands that we saw Zemo rattle off in the previous episode. So if you haven't tuned into that one, we'll include that one below. But you see Bucky kind of process it, which confirms again that as he was the Winter Soldier, he may not have been a willing participant, but he was still very aware of what he did.
Mm-hmm. And you also see, it wasn't just Shuri working with Bucky. You see Ayo was there with him and practicing with him and making sure that, his memory was wiped or, whatever. Not memory, but, the Winter Soldier trigger words to get him going was gone.
Okay, did any of those trigger words trigger you? I thought it was when they said homecoming, I thought of Spider-Man. And then I was like, and guys, this was our first run through. So by the time homecoming registered to Spider-Man for me, I was like, wait a minute, I done missed 5 commands.
No.
So were any of them tying into you? Okay. Because I was like, wait a minute, they just said 17. What does that mean? Homecoming, what does that mean? So you have those first few moments, and then it flashes back to the present, or not the present technically, but the present for the series. It flashes back, and you have Ayo and Bucky speaking. And Shuri is mentioned, so I was thrilled to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, guys. We have 2 more episodes left.
Yep.
If Shuri shows up, I might lose my mind. I might lose my entire mind. Just a warning. But it flashes back. He mentions Shuri, and then he drops a little science in Wakanda. So it confirms that he wasn't just hanging out, sitting at the dock of the bay.
Right.
He did a lot of work. Shout out to Bucky's mental health. And he also learned Wakandan. So, I just thought that was amazing. And Ayo says, oh, he's an end to a means, So she says to him, 8 hours, and we come back for him.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, you're going to see some of the Dora Milaje in addition to Ayo. To which point, guys, they could have ended the movie. And I keep saying movie. They could have ended the episode. I was just too through with that.
Yeah. No,
Did you expect that?
Yeah, I was kind of expecting Them to show up and it be a fight, of course.
No, but were you expecting like the flashback, kind of like the origin to his time in Wakanda?
No.
No. I mean, this series continues to surprise. So then you have Sam and Bucky, and they're listening with Zemo, because you know Zemo is there. Bucky says, all right, I've got 8 hours. Great. Clock starts. And when Bucky walks in to where Sam and Zemo are, I didn't know what he was going to do. So I thought, like, the fact that he said, hey, the Wakandans are here and we have 8 hours. He was very transparent with that. And I thought, okay, that's the right thing to do. And at this point, they learn of Karli's bombing. Mm-hmm. And they're like, man, she's escalating. And Sam is so genuine and so pure and so military. He understands PTSD. He understands the process. He's like, she can still be helped. Zemo's like, we kill her or she kills us. Right. That's his attitude. And then he does something random. He grabs this Turkish candy and he's like, you know, my parents used to give me this. Or it makes a mention of the candy. And then they go to the GRC camp in search of Karli. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, Sam, bless your heart. Right? Like, Sam and Bucky were going around interviewing people. Like, people don't know, A, who they are.
Right.
Or B, would even talk to them.
I know. I'm like, Sam, come on, man. They know you're an Avenger. Like, what are you doing?
Listen, I will say this. Zemo is the Swiss Army knife of all trades. He was in the seediest of worlds in Majapur, right? Mm-hmm. Super seedy. And then you see him pull out a bag of candy for the refugees in the camp, the children.
Real predator-like to me. I ain't like that.
So, okay. He shares the candy with the children, and they explain where Mama Donya's funeral is. It wasn't predator-like for me. Many moons ago, guys, I spent a good bit of time in India, and there would be a lot of beggars, and it would be like a ring. Like, you'd see like the smallest kid beg for money, and then like you could kind of connect the dots, and you'd see like a sketchy adult in the lurking, right? So what I would do is bring candy and food. The adults would want money, so I would show the kids how to open up the candy or things like that. So that seemed very normal to me because it was a way to kind of block off the predators in my mind.
Right.
Okay, so Zemo gets the drop. And for a minute there, I didn't think Zemo was going to tell them.
I didn't either. I thought he was just going to keep that information for himself.
Because at this point, he knows what kind of trouble he's in.
Listen, he's just there to complete one mission. And that's to get rid of all the super soldiers and the serum.
You don't think he wants to remain out of jail? Like, I don't think he's going to go back to jail peacefully.
Yeah, I mean, he's smart enough to know that he can slip out just like he did later in the scene. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't think I think if he could have, I don't know. Because why didn't he escape before?
Yeah,
you know?
I don't know.
You didn't appreciate my what kind of trouble he's in joke? Mm-mm. I'll be here all night, ladies and gents. So then you have that kind of, you know, going back and forth with Zemo just again reinforcing to them that you have to kill Karli, right? She's got the super serum. And then Bucky interjects and says, but it didn't affect Cap that way. Right? Mm-hmm. Cap was like one of the exceptions to the rule. Sam goes on to talk about his connection and how he feels for Karli. And then he says something that just was like nails on a chalkboard. He said, my TT. And told a story about his TT.
That's right.
Which is his aunt.
Right. I knew that.
Nope, guys. So I am... The Puerto Rican inside of me is screaming, T-I-T-I, Titi. You're Titi. When Corey and I first got together, he referred to my aunt as my Aunt Titi.
No, I just referred to her as TT.
No, but you were like, hey, is your Aunt TT coming? I'm like, TT is on. Listen, guys, I think the writing is really good. The kind of like the hint of what's currently going on in different things and cultures, I think they do interweave all of that. At the same time, Karli and the rest of the Flag Smashers find out that because of that bombing, the GRC are now speeding up their agenda, which means that they are now reinstalling borders.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, we're in a world without borders. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And later on in the episode, Sam sheds more light on it. It says, listen, there used to be borders, but when people started showing up and they needed to kind of rebuild different countries and so forth, they were welcomed. So there was a big welcoming, and then boom, our people are back. So you go somewhere else.
Right.
So that really lends itself to understand Karli's cause. And then Zemo's cause is that he thinks the serum is all the way bad. And all he wants to do is get rid of it. And he thinks he needs to kill Karli to get there. So you got poor Sam and Bucky looking crazy. You got Zemo. He finally gets the information for where the funeral for Mama Doña is.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to share it. And I thought he wasn't going to share it, and he did. Sam?
He didn't really share it, but because that's his leverage. Remember, he said, I'm not going to tell you, because you tell me, then you'll just give me to the Dora Milaje, and then I ain't got no leverage.
He knows the Dora Milaje beef is real. Right? I mean, you want to shed some more light on Zemo and Dora Milaje and what their beef is?
Yeah, so the beef is from Captain America Civil War when they blew up the... it started with Scarlet Witch blowing up the building, killing like 11 Wakandans, right? And then, they had the Sokovia Accords. They met about the Accords. He activated Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier then sets off a bomb at the UN where King T'Chaka was speaking. He kills and T'Challa was in there with him.
Yes. That was the first time we saw T'Challa in the MCU.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And, so AL is very upset because she's the chief security officer. You know what I'm saying? So she was very upset. And, I'll get to it later when they... when they show up later in the episode.
Yeah. At this point, Sam did not get far, right? And so he calls in a favor from Sharon and says, hey, I know I owe you already, but could you pull some strings? And then Sharon says, well, the power broker, he's really upset and really wants to find Karli. So...
Mm-hmm. Was that the first time that they put a title on the power broker? Did they ever say he or she before that?
I don't think so.
Right, I don't think so either. So I think she's saying he
to throw us off.
Yep.
I agree. I think Sharon is the power broker. I think she's trying to throw Sam off her scent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still think that she cares about what Sam thinks of her. She still wants Sam to see if she can get some immunity.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. I don't know if she wants to leave this little underworld she has going on. You know what I mean? But that's just another bargaining chip for her to have.
The one takeaway from this scene where they're at the GRC is that they call them refugees and they get corrected really quick. They're like, no, we are not. We are internationally displaced people. So they are the new forgotten.
They're the new diaspora.
Right. Then you flash to Karli at a gravesite where she has the serum hidden. And I thought it was pretty cool. It was, like pushing the thing. And, her homie says that she reminds him of Captain America. And I'm not talking about Captain White Privilege, okay? I'm talking about Captain America from the standpoint of what she stands for. She's fighting for people. So, she makes it very clear what we are going to do will outlive the shield. Guys, we're doing full-on spoilers. We're going all the way to the end. And that outlived the Shield. The Shield dies today. Right. Tonight, the Shield dies.
I would like to see it destroyed.
Yes. And so does Sam. Bucky still doesn't.
Yeah, right.
Bucky's holding out. So you've got Zemo, you've got Bucky, and you've got Sam walking the cobblestone road, and here he comes. First of all, they're in Latvia, and Captain White Privilege and Battlestar Galactica do the most American thing ever. He comes down the steps, loud, aggressive, swearing, none of the things that Captain America does, right? So it looks like he watched, he was a football player, right? It looks like he watched footage of Captain America and said, I'm going to do the exact opposite. And surely he does. So he's like, we need to find her. And Sam's like, listen, I can reason with Karli. Sam genuinely has this look on his face like, I can reason with Karli. What experience do you have? You don't have the serum. And he says, you know what? I've spoken to soldiers after battle. And then Battlestar Galactica, aka Lamar, says, you know what? He might have a point. So Zemo meets up with his friend, the little girl, and he gives her, was it candy or money? What did he give her for her family?
Her money.
Money. This is for your family. Now, where is the funeral? They go to the funeral, or the scene of, right? It's like just kind of like their refugee. It's like a warehouse kind of setup. And Sam is prepared to go in. Mind you, Sam has no serum. Sam doesn't even have his suit on. He can't even fly away. R.I.P. Red Wing. He doesn't even have Red Wing. He's just going in with his leather jacket and hope. Okay? At this point, Captain White Privilege, CWP, pulls a fast one and handcuffs Zemo to like a boiler or something. Mm-hmm. And says, you've got 10 minutes or I'm going to do things my way. Guys, I'm sorry. Even when he speaks, that's the voice I hear. Comment down below if you, like me, hear that voice. You then see Karli do just like this really sincere Mama Doña tribute. And she explains, listen, I lost my whole family. And like many of you, Mama Doña was there for me when no one was. What did that make you think of?
I don't know.
It made me think of, guys, we're watching a series called Utopia. And if you aren't doing so already, be sure to follow us on our social media at Road Trippin' with the Rudes. When we're not doing a full-on real review, we're doing real reels. So we'll be touching base on that series. But it gave me that vibe. So I thought that was pretty cool.
From what part of that, though?
From Jessica with the woman that raised her.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So then Sam, I don't know. Like for me, Sam goes in, respectfully doesn't make any noise, doesn't announce himself. He's not extra. He's just there, right? And he waits for everyone to leave. And Karli says, I saw you in the back. And I think.
So the whole time she's speaking, you didn't get any vibes from that?
Yes, I did. I did get some vibes from that. What were you gonna say? What did you think?
I don't want to compare because it's a real person.
Oh, I think you were gonna say the same thing.
Fred Hampton vibes, being able to organize.
Okay, so guys,
because she said something very specific, like. We might not be the same people or something like that, but we've all are experiencing the same thing. Yeah. It was something like that.
Yep. So here is what I said. And guys, I take notes. Corey doesn't, but read what that says right there.
Mental notes.
Read what that says right there.
Fear of the redhead messiah.
Fear of the rise of the redhead messiah. So she definitely is a great orator, and she definitely is engaging. And one thing that I love about Marvel Comics is that they are always tie in current events. And if you follow X-Men, you know that it was, it said that Xavier is to be Martin Luther King, and that Magneto, Malcolm X. One thing that I find very striking about Karli is her Malcolm X red hair.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean, but this is tied in through all of the comics, really. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, the first issue of Black Panther is him fighting the KKK.
Yep. I know. So there's going to be, she is, and one of the things that we'll get to later is that they do hone in on her being a revolutionary.
Yes.
They do hone in on it, and I thought it was amazing. So, Sam meets Karli. He's not loud. He's very disarming. And I think it's because Sam's genuine, right? You never get this vibe of what's the angle. And he says, like, this doesn't have to be a war, Karli. And I think he's been through it, right? He's been through Civil War. He's been through Infinity War. He is saying, like, this doesn't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about, she said, no, listen, it's not me. They started it, right? They started the war when they kicked us out of our new homes.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks about a different world.
Yeah. But I don't see that part of the story. I don't follow. Like, what homes are they talking about?
So, and Sam touches base on this.
Briefly, I know what you're about to talk about.
Yeah, he touches base on the fact that, here's the thing. Say you're a country. You lose half of your people. People that were working on infrastructure, things like that, disappeared. So you know what? A lot of stuff probably got destroyed in the process, right? You are going to try to bring people in. You're probably going to give them great incentives.
Okay.
Like, just imagine, right? Look at how expensive housing is, say, in, New York City or in California, and you lose half of your people, but you need certain skill sets. So say you need, architects. Hey, if you're an architect and you come to my city, my country, my state, or what have you,
mm-hmm.
I'll set you up in this $1 million home, right? Because it's vacant.
Yeah.
So I think there were some, like, aggressive recruiting efforts, right? Because I
guess that's the assumption we're supposed to make. I just don't know.
Yeah, I
feel like they can make that a little clearer.
And they might. Yeah. But I love the fact that Sam is actively listening. She's talking about doing things differently, and he says, different is not always better. Remember, Sam had to make a hard decision during Civil War. And I think he absolutely saw Iron Man's side of things, but decided to side with Cap. He is somebody that can empathize and look at both sides. So I thought that there was definitely a good connection there. And she says to him, either you're brilliant or you're hopelessly optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, the most optimistic thing ever. Can I be a little bit of both? Falcon, Falcon, Falcon. I heart you. You have a place in my heart.
It's about time.
And then CWP blows his cap. Because he's a hothead. And shows up. Storms in, right?
Well, Bucky
stopped him.
Yeah.
Bucky tried to stop him, and he hit Bucky with some resentment. He said, oh, this is easy for you with the serum running through your veins.
Mm-hmm.
It's the jealousy for me.
Right.
It's the envy. It's the lack of knowledge. Your shield and his arm are both made of vibranium. Be humble.
I mean, he was a hater from day one when he showed up.
Listen. So while Bucky is trying to hold him off, you hear Karli try to recruit Sam, honestly, because Sam talks of Sarah and she says, you know, the people that are trying to steal your home, Sam, those are these people that we're fighting. Why are you here and not fighting them? And that was a very, very poignant question in which he says, my sister feels the same way as you. So mental note for Karli that, hey, he has even family and loved ones that are kind of probably wondering why he chooses nobility, you know?
And it shows that he has a struggle.
Right. So then you have Cap still storming loud. Karli feels betrayed.
Nah, that ain't Cap.
Sorry. You have CWP storming loud. Karli feels very betrayed because Karli is still young. You know?
Yeah.
And still impressionable. And I think she did connect with Sam. And I think Sam's connection was genuine. But Sam is here like, you know, Karli takes off. CWP takes off. And then we see that Zemo broke out. Right? I don't know why he thought a handcuff was going to block Zemo. I think, do your research.
Yeah, I mean.
This is not some like nickel and dime criminal. This is Zemo.
Right.
Put some respect on his name. How do you feel about the wardrobe for Zemo?
I love it. I mean, it's like a bound almost of his comic book wardrobe.
Shout out to Bound or Disney Bound. It's not so much a cosplay where the person looks exactly like them, but like just their clothes invoke that energy. So I thought it was amazing in the previous episode when he had his mask and he grabbed that. But yeah, his jacket definitely was giving me, you know, classic Zemo vibes. Very similar to when we saw Wanda from WandaVision break out her Scarlet Witch attire for Halloween. So shout out to them for that, and we'll include that video. Karli gets away. And Zemo gets away, right? Zemo, of course, is the one that finds Karli, and Zemo chooses violence. He shoots first, asks questions last. Luckily, he doesn't kill Karli. I was worried about that. But she spills the serum, so you see the vials. And let me tell you something, guys. That was a nail biter.
Yeah, because I thought Zemo was going to take off and take one or drink it.
When I say it was a nail biter, left hand, right hand, it was a nail biter. Those few moments, I thought, first of all, Zemo could pop 3 of those bad boys and be like something crazy, right? But it ties into his real disdain for the project. He crushes all of them. So we think. Right?
So, you know, the whole time. He's actually staying on mission, right? That's been his whole mission since they approached him in jail.
Yep.
Is we're going to stop all of this. Mm-hmm. So, for him not to steal it or him not to take it, he stayed on mission.
I know. And I was here for it. He breaks all of the vials.
I know, they're making you like Zemo a little bit.
I think that's the amazing thing about the MCU.
The club scene, you know, that's when he won me over.
What part of when he played like...
his dance.
Oh, his dance. Listen, not only that, guys, we can go down the list of likable villains or multifaceted villains.
Well, that is the one con, I guess you could say, for most people, is that for Marvel, they make you empathize with the villain.
Hold on. That's a con? Empathy's a con?
Yeah, because you want the villain... Some people want the villain to be straight up villain, hardcore. To me, CWP is what a villain is.
Yeah, like guys.
But they want him to, you know, this is it. Villain. I'm tearing up everything. I don't care what's going on. I don't have a missions that, you know, you can kind of empathize with. Nah, none of that. But that's what people say. That's what people. That's some people's knock on Marvel.
It's not that black and white. And I want to know about my villains. Tell me what your interests are. Who you be with. Things that make you smile. I like to know about Killmonger and Thanos and now Zemo. In my mind, Agatha's a homie. Okay? It was Agatha all along hanging out with me for wine night. So I love my multifaceted villains. You then have, again, you think he breaks all of the vials. I wasn't ready for this plot twist. There was one vial left in the corner. Zemo doesn't see it. CWP sees it. I thought he was going to drink it right there.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Because seriously, he's gotten beat up several times. Several times in this series. And I thought he was going to take it right there. And I know you were saying he was wielding the shield pretty good. Comment down below if I'm being too critical, but I feel like his shield handling is malicious, where I never got that feeling from Cap. Cap never, walked into a room with a gun, I don't think. And so then when Bucky says something's off about Walker, I know crazy when I see it. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely, he doesn't tell anybody that he takes the vial and puts it in his little side pocket. They all kind of meet up. And CWP thought it was the right move to challenge Sam to a fight. That's how much of a hothead this guy is. But you know what? Pick on somebody your own size. AKA the Dora Milaje. They showed up three deep. Now, mind you, you had Lamar, you had CWP, you had Sam, you had Zemo, and you had Bucky. You had all of them, and you had Ayo and two more of the Dora Milaje, so they were 3 deep. And let me just tell you, Walker, arrogant, not knowing who the Dora Milaje even is. Hi, I'm John Walker. Puts his hand out. Let me tell you something. Ayo had no time for that.
I already knew what was going to happen and I knew he was going to touch her because in Civil War, if you remember, when T'Challa came out, they were in like some type of when they interrogated T'Challa after he chased Winter Soldier down and all that stuff. He came out of the interrogation with AO, and Black Widow approached him, and she told Black Widow, back up, don't touch me. So she was ready to whoop Black Widow right then and there. So I already knew they were going to play that angle, him touching her.
Shout out to Ayo for social distancing before social distancing was a thing.
All right.
Okay? John Walker says the dumbest thing ever. What's with the pointy sticks? Did that make you think of anything?
Mm-mm.
That made me think of guns. So primitive.
Oh. Well, it was one part where, who was it? Who said, John Walker. He was like, what's up with all these knives?
Yep.
And I thought about, you're in Europe, bro.
Right. Guns aren't a thing.
Yeah, you're the only one walking around with a gun.
He's so ridiculous. But he, he insults her and he's like, what's up with the pointy sticks? Made me think of guns so primitive. And then he says, yet another stupid thing. The hits keep on coming with CWP, ladies and gentlemen. He says the Dora Milaje have no jurisdiction here. And clearly, my man, you should stick to tofu because you don't want this beef. Ayo says the Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever the Dora Milaje are. And proceeds to beat the stars and stripes off of CWP. Lamar, stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. At one point, Sam felt bad, and he says, we should do something, Bucky. And Bucky says, you're looking good, John. You're looking good. Because he already knows.
But that's the arrogance that I've been wanting to see from the Wakandans. That's how T'Challa got down. Like, hey, wherever I'm at, I run the show.
Yep. No, I really, first of all, I love. So here's the thing: the Dora Milaje are actually modeled after a tribe of warrior women from Africa. This is when I think of women empowerment, you don't have to oversell me. This is what I want to see. I want to see the Dora Milaje be badass and talk a little trash, but not where it's like unbelievable, right? All she wanted, all Ayo said from the beginning is, we're just here for Zemo.
Mm-hmm.
You are just in her way, which is the same thing with Karli. Karli's like, I just want my 40 acres and a mule. And if you are in my way, I am going to go through you. And so I'm here for it. I mean, this episode was just amazing. So then you have, man, let me tell you, that fight scene. I
actually stopped it and rewound it. In mid watching the show, like, I gotta go back right now. That was good.
Let me just tell you something, too. Sam fared better than CWP.
Well, I think they had mercy on Sam.
I think so too. And Bucky goes at Ayo and he's like, why are you doing this? And it's almost like a sibling thing, right? Mm-hmm. Bucky wants to keep the peace. Ayo's already mad about the stunt you pulled with Zemo. Give her time. Give her space.
Mm-hmm.
Or she's going to hurt your feelings. Right?
Which she did.
She took your arm off. This whole time,
she disarmed him.
She literally disarmed him. This whole time, like, Zemo's torn between breaking out and watching. He watches a little bit and then he sneaks out into the bathroom. The fight scene is so crazy. And, you know, those stick things that CWP commented on, yeah, one way straight through his shield. Vibranium on vibranium, homeboy. You just didn't know. Goes through his shield, and he can't even grab his shield. So,
it didn't go through the shield. It just went through his hand.
His hand part.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, she called back the shield like it was hers all along.
She stepped on it and kicked it up to her.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, it's the vibranium, right? You know the dilly.
She said what?
He should have took it.
First of all,
that's what she should have did.
Here's the thing. Ayo says Zemo's gone. Leave the shield.
She should have took it. It's theirs anyway. It's vibranium.
She said leave the shield because he can't do anything with it anyway, right? Leave the shield, and he says they don't even have the serum.
Yeah, he's like they're not even super soldiers. So this is before now. Mind you, he has the serum. He got his ass whooped. So I knew he was definitely taking it after that.
Whooped. It was like unreal. So that fight scene was like
kicked
amazing.
His chest in.
A hole through his chest. First of all, they could do a whole series on people in the future, shout out to Loki, because this is the third person that has got kicked clear into the future. Right? What are the lottery numbers? Okay? Bring me back a pair of Marty McFlys. Thanks for coming out, CWP. So then, I mean, it was just, oh my God. Oh, it was so crazy. Then you have these two dummies, CWP and Battlestar Galactica at a coffee shop. And mind you, earlier in the episode, Zemo asked Sam, if you had the opportunity, would you have taken the super serum?
He said no immediately.
And Zemo says without hesitation. So again, it's confirming everything that we knew about Sam.
Right.
Right? But he's talking, CWP is talking to Lamar, and he says, would you take the serum? Lamar's response is, hells yeah.
Hells with an S on it.
Hells yeah.
You know he's serious.
I was confused.
Hells yeah.
Hells yeah.
Yeah.
And imagine how many lives we would have saved if we had the serum back in Afghanistan. Right? And Cap tries to say, like, yeah, I won those awards and it was like the worst day of my life. I don't feel sorry for you.
No. He was saying, like, I took it as though he was saying, yeah, I have those awards, but today is the worst day of my life. Like, I just got my ass handed
No,
to me.
he was saying that was the worst day of his life. That I had those.
That's not how I took it.
Yeah, because he said, I got those awards, but that was the worst day of my life, and it didn't feel right. The first time I've ever felt like I'm doing the right thing was by being Captain America. Buddy, calm down, because you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
You're doing it all the way wrong, okay?
Yeah, when I heard that part, I thought he was saying, yeah, I have those awards, but this is the worst day of my life. Like, I just got whooped.
He was saying, I lost so much that day.
Okay.
But he was like, I only feel right as Captain America. Buddy, you're doing it all wrong. So don't feel right. Okay? And I just, that conversation was basically, to me, was like he was looking for Lamar to co-sign his bad behavior.
That's all he needed.
God. So you could tell just by that exchange that he hasn't taken the serum yet. He was looking for a cosign, so he will take the serum, right? Then the phone rings. It's Karli calling Sarah. And I know that was a violation, but it's almost like Karli and Sam are so similar from the standpoint of, yes, you shouldn't have called his sister and kind of threatened her at the end, but she was really trying to get a feel for who Sam really was.
Well, it's a double sword to me because she gets to see who Sam is, and it's an insurance policy if Sam comes through and does some BS.
Right.
Again, you know what I'm saying?
Karli says, listen, your brother's working with your Captain America.
Right.
And Sarah says the line that so many of us have been saying for 4 years. That's not my Captain America. Right? That's not my Captain America. I didn't vote for him. Just saying, guys. And Sarah then says this hot fire bar. So I want to see more of Sarah. Sarah said, my world doesn't matter to America, so why should I care about its mascot?
That was crazy to even hear. That's like private conversation almost. Yeah.
There are two different Americas, and there are absolutely conversations that are had in private in certain homes that aren't had in other homes. For example, if you are Black or a person of color, you have conversations with your children about walking into stores wearing hoodies or with their hands in their pockets, or what to do when they're pulled over by police. And I didn't realize this happened years ago, but I didn't realize that other parents didn't have to have that conversation until I was talking to a parent. It was like, hey, remember when you had the talk? And they're like, what talk? Right? So her saying that just was like, just absolutely monumental.
Bars.
And Karli says, listen.
Chuck D must have wrote them bars.
Listen. Exactly. So she says, listen, I'm going to send you the coordinates, have him meet me, have him alone. And if not, I will meet up with you. And then she mentions the children and mentions where Sarah is. Sarah reaches out to Sam. Sam is with Bucky because, those two are signing autographs or whatever. Battlestar Galactica and CWP. And Sam shows up. This time he is in his Falcon attire, just to play it safe. And Bucky says, now throughout this whole episode, CWP refers to Bucky as Sam's partner. And Bucky's like, I'm not his partner. I'm not his partner. But when Sam says she wants me to go alone, Bucky says, I'm going with you. right? So Bucky, you are his partner, and we're here for it, and we're glad you're his partner, and we love you for it. So they show up with Karli. They go to meet with Karli, and Karli doesn't even like have an issue with Bucky being there, but she's like, listen, let's just kill CWP. And then here comes Sharon to save the day. And she says, listen, I have the coordinates for CWP. At which point they realize, oh man, Karli's crew is going to get him. That's kind of like a distraction. So they take off. At which point a fight ensues, and it is very clear CWP has now taken the serum.
Yep.
He took the shield through a wall.
Jumping. Yeah.
They snatch Lamar up, and he's fighting. He's on the juice, guys. He's all hyped up on the juice. Whew. Karli slams Lamar. R.I.P. Lamar. Lamar is done. At this point, CWP's enraged. He chases after them. These scenes are amazing.
I know.
These are amazing. I'm like, is Will Smith in this movie?
Nah, this joint.
What's this budget?
This is crazy.
What is this budget? And it's a series. At first, when I heard about the fact that there were only 6 episodes, I was upset. Guys, how'd you do this 4 times already? It blows my mind. So, at this point, his best friend is dead. He goes off. He runs into town square looking for Karli, finds a super soldier who is lying there and says, I didn't do it.
Beating down with the shield.
And proceeds to do a public beheading with the shield.
Basically, yeah.
Cameras are rolling. When have we seen someone become upset and abuse their white privilege and kill someone on camera? Haven't seen that before, have we? This, and then we see him lift the shield, cap shield.
With blood on it.
Blood.
That was wild.
I just...
They held no punches with this joint.
I don't know if I'm ready for the next 2. I don't know.
This is a great series. They did their thing with this one. It only ramps up the anticipation for Loki. I know that one's going to be really crazy.
Guys, this was amazing. Comment down below. Let us know what you think. Out of the 4 episodes, is this your fave?
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. I ain't even going to think about it. Yep.
I'm on my
Your mans was missing this whole episode, though.
Who's my mans?
Torres.
You know why? Because Torres is shady. And we have enough shade with CWP. Torres will show up at Lamar's funeral.
Yeah, for sure.
He's off the rails, guys. CWP is completely off the rails.
Does Lamar get a funeral? CWP,
he probably does.
CWP's actions is going to overshadow all of that.
Listen.
As soon as they get on Twitter.
Guys, I don't know about you. I cannot wait until next Friday. This episode was amazing. We got some Wakanda love. We got some Sam love. We got some understanding of Karli.
That's why it's my favorite, because Wakanda's in it.
I just can't take it. Look, if you've enjoyed this review, please be sure to check out more. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell, as we will have more videos coming your way, and like this video. I don't know, guys. There's nothing left to say. We're going to go watch it again. I'll tell you that much. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And until the next time.
Keep tripping.
Bye, guys.